Well, today we're making a loaf of cranberry swirl bread. I actually found this one, pictures of this one, a couple of months ago when I did the cinnamon swirl and the marbled rye breads. And I wanted to wait and do it in November for a Christmas holiday bread for the dolls. So stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, so we have a couple of things to get started to make our loaf of bread. I have some polymer clay. This is 4 parts white and 1 part Sahara. I have an entire video on making the bread color and the bread, another one on making the bread pans. There'll be links so you can find those videos at the end of the video over in the end card. So I've got enough bread here, bread clay, to fit my pan. I've also cut a lifter strip. This one is just cut out of printer paper because I just had some paper on my desk here on my table, and I cut a strip that's wide enough to cover the bottom, which happened to be 3/8 of an inch wide, by long enough to hang over the edges. This will help me to get my clay out of the loaf pan once we have the loaf formed. I have 2 craft sticks, one on each side here, and my clay roller. By having the craft sticks on the ends, I get a nice even layer of clay that's not too thin and not too thick. It will be the same thickness as these 2 craft sticks. Now I'm going to make sure that we have this going. Use my knife and kind of... It will grow a little as we make our loaf of bread. All right, now on this little piece of foil, I have some white liquid Sculpey. Now, ideally, I would be using liquid Kato clay, which is my preference for a project like this, but I don't have any. And the last, I think, 2 times I've tried to get it, it's been out of stock where I normally get it. So I may have to find another source for it or order it online or something, but this will work. It just won't be quite as bright of a red as it would be with the more clear clay. And don't know that I've got quite enough. I think we're going to have to make up just a little more. And what I've colored this with, like I do all the time, is just a little bit of oil paint. Now, to get a good red, I find that the best color is rose madder. A lot of the reds tend to turn kind of an orangey color when you try to mix them and then bake them off. They look okay on the foil or on whatever you're mixing it on, and then you put it in the oven and bake it. And because red is a very particular color, this isn't quite as dark as I had before, but it'll be okay. Our cranberry sauce might be a little bit pink in this loaf, but that's all right. Just want to make a nice even layer. I didn't want to have a bunch left over, but I needed enough to cover. It'll be fine. Just kind of spread it out. You don't want a lot because it will be very gooey. And this now is going to be very, very messy. So I have on hand off to the side both a clean paper towel and a wet wipe. I also have rubbing alcohol in isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle and some cotton swabs. We're going to need all of those and more to clean up. These are red no-hole beads. They're labeled as micro beads. I don't know the size other than they are called micro beads. I've had these for a very, very long time, and this brand is no longer available. These are Martha Stewart. But you can get micro beads are usually around card making stuff. They're little tiny no-hole beads. You can also get them online. And I'm just sprinkling on some. These are a nice color and small enough to stand in for our cranberries in our cranberry swirl bread. Okay. Now the mess is going to start. So I'm going to run my knife underneath, at least to start. That way it won't be stuck to my tile and I'll be able to lift it up. And no matter how careful you are going to get your fingers in the red oil paint, and you are going to get red on the outside of your bread loaf, but it's not the end of the world. I think this one is going neater than the one I made as a prototype. Now, putting a strip of paper down into my pan. I'm just using a dotting tool because it's handy. That lets me get it down all the way. Wipe my fingers off. Like I said, you're going to get red. It's going to get red on there. My loaf was maybe a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. Use that dot, use a tool to help you kind of push that down in, make the ends neat. We will neaten it up more after we freeze it. But first, we're going to wipe up our mess. And actually I'm going to spray that directly with the alcohol. And if it doesn't all come off, that's okay. Remember, we are going to put the chalk on this to make it look baked and brown and beautiful. I do want to get rid of some of those lines. So I'm going to get it wet with the... See if I can get this to lay where you guys can see it. And just use your finger to kind of smooth things over. Oops. All right, now this needs to go into the freezer for at least 10 minutes, no more than 20, because then it will be too hard to cut. But when you come back with it in 10 minutes, make sure you have your clay knife, your texturing tools, everything ready to go, because you're not going to have a lot of time once you take it out of the freezer. Oh, let's take it out of the pan too, so that it'll be easier to... This is why I normally use the other. This is why I normally use cardstock. That's okay. I thought I could get by with it, and if it hadn't been for the isopropyl alcohol, that would have come out easier. There, that's okay. We'll get it. There we go. Pull the paper off. Yeah, this is why I normally use cardstock, but I wanted to use the paper because it was just laying here and it was just simpler than going in the other room and finding what I should have been using. All right, let's clean that up again. Normally when I pull it out, it doesn't get that messy. And it'll be okay. Like I said, we're going to cover that with chalk. Our bread is a little pink. Okay, we'll clean it up more when we get it out. I'm going to go freeze this for 10-15 minutes, and then I'll be right back. All right, our loaf of bread is fresh out of the freezer. I am working on a white piece of paper. I apologize for you won't be able to see as well, but I'm trying to keep my tile as clean as possible today because I have several projects to work on, and I don't have time to stop and fix it if I get too much of a mess. So I have my chalks. I have the normal 3 that we always use, and then I've added this lighter kind of rust color in there. That'll be my second color I use. I want to try a little different color this time because most of these breads I saw were a little bit lighter in color than some of our other breads we've made. By the time we get all these chalks on, you really won't see all that pink. It's okay. It's only on the surface. When we slice the bread, it'll be fine. And I'm going to go all the way around with the yellow ochre. This is a yellow ochre. It's our lightest color. And this is just an eyeshadow brush. If you go to my channel, I have a playlist of Clay 101 where I do some kind of clay lessons from time to time, and I do have one about using the chalks. Be sure that when you're putting these on, you're pushing down with your brush to kind of burnish the color in. There. I'm going to use just a touch of the red brown. And now all of a sudden that's gone from a piece of white clay to something that looks like it's been baked. I'm going to use a little bit of dark on the end because the ends of these breads with all the stuff leaking out tend to burn just a little bit in my experience. So, all right, now one thing I want to make sure of is that the bottom is nice and flat because I made one of these earlier to do photos and my bottom was not flat enough on my bread and it kept rolling over. So now I'm happy with my chalk. Now I'm going to slice it. I think I'll slice it right on here because again that will keep my surface of my tile a little cleaner and it's a little better for my knife to cut against the paper. Now if your clay has softened from you handling it, put it back in the freezer for 5 or so minutes because for this step you want it nice and firm. I think I'm fine. I think I'll be able to reform any, yeah, that's fine. So we've got that pretty little swirl in there. I'm going to cut 3 slices, which is what I usually do when I do one of these. And you can kind of, if you look close, you can see the little beads we put in along with our swirl. Now I have a wire brush and I have a wet wipe over here to the side because every time we poke our bread, we need to wipe it off on the wire brush tips on there. Because if we don't, we're going to end up with pink on the surface of our bread. I cheated there, but I think I got away with it. And you'll see it's making a mess on my tile, and that's why I don't want to have this on my tile right now. Be very careful. If you're not poking where the red is, you're probably okay to not wipe it in between, but if you poke where that red liquid clay is, be sure, right there, I got a smudge of red, or more literally pink, but I'll show you how to cover that up. And when you are done with this project, be sure that all of your tools that you've used get clean. Because if you have any of this red liquid clay on any of your tools, your brush, your knife, your anything, it will get on your next project because red is evil. All right, that's pretty much as I'm going to do. I might do a little bit of teasing just to kind of even it out. I'm okay with that. Now, I have my leftover clay, or liquid clay over here. I'm going to get a clean toothpick because that toothpick is really messy. I'm going to pick up just little bits. And any place I think I need a little more red filling, I'm going to do that. You can also add more of your little cranberries if you feel like you need to. Now, I like that opening there. I'm going to actually kind of put my knife, my little pointy tool in there and kind of open that up. And if I have one over here that has that, I'm going to do that here too. Kind of pull it apart, kind of get it in different places. You don't want all the slices to look identical. There, now this needs to bake for 20 minutes. When it's baked and cooled back to room temperature, we'll come back and we will work on our next step. Be sure that you are baking this on a non-stick surface. I'm using this piece of parchment paper. You can use that, anything that it won't stick to because there will be liquid clay ooze out the bottom of those slices. So I'll be back when these are baked and cooled. All right, these have baked and cooled down to room temperature, and now I have just some of the white liquid Sculpey. If you have a translucent or a more clear Sculpey liquid clay, add some white oil paint to it to turn it white. I wanted mine slightly translucent. I don't want a real heavy icing. I want this to look more like a glaze, like, you know, what you would make with powdered sugar. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the top. And then I'm going to, and I'm using my pointy tool because it's got this nice shape. Whoops, this nice shape. It's kind of L-shaped, J-shaped. It makes it a little bit easier to do details. And I just want it to look like this is run down in a couple of spots. And now I'm going to take just a little bit. And this is totally optional. But I noticed that most of the breads, most of the cranberry swirl breads did have a little bit of a glaze to on the top of them. This slice of bread is really thick. Kind of reminds me of what my sons used to cut when I used to make bread when they were living at home. Bread didn't last long when they sliced their own. Now this needs to bake for one more time on parchment in case any of that leaks down. We're going to bake it for 10 minutes this time, and once it's baked and cooled, I'll come back and we will look at our finished loaf of bread. All right, there is a fairly close-up shot of our bread. I just laid it out on my little mini cutting board. I love how this turned out. It reminds me so much of the photo I saw online a while back. Perfect for the dolls to serve for the holidays. Now, if you want to make a permanent display of this, say you've got a cutting board you want to add this to and you want to have it stay there, then all you need to do is run a line of whatever liquid clay you've got on that cutting board, lay your pieces on, arrange them, and bake them. That works on everything except plastic. Obviously, you can't do it on a plastic piece for that. Just use a clay-friendly glue. I used to always use 527 cement. I'm not sure if it's still available, and I haven't really been looking for new glues to use with clays, and maybe that's something I should be doing. Not all glues are clay friendly. But that's our project for today. Be sure and check the blog post. All the information you need that is not covered in the video is probably over on the blog post. If you like the video, be sure and hit the like button. Leave me a comment. What kinds of things would you like to see in future tutorials? If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, be sure and hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up another video. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.